Lesson 9. Understand her creative process. In any relationship, there are ebbs and flows. Ecstasy with falling in love, then sometimes disagreements and fights and frustrations and falling out of love. In good marriages, notice that partners stay with their process even when it's uncomfortable, because they know that seeing each other through it builds a stable foundation for the relationship that in turn supports their individual growth. I know a few couples like that, and it's exciting to see them. I know couples like Bonnie and Greg Dixon, and they just seem to work it all out, and it's terrific to watch them. So similarly, to romance your writer within, there are steps or stages based upon the 4 main steps in the creative process. These steps are preparation, incubation, illumination or aha, and verification. So if you know these steps, you can work with them rather than feeling hopelessly stuck in your writing. This process will help you to understand where you are when you're writing something. So the first step is preparation. You decide that you wish to write a piece, say a novel, a short story, a book of essays, and then you create the environment where you can write. You do whatever it takes to open up to receive ideas, whether they be gathering your pen and notebook and going for a walk in nature, or cleaning up your desk and creating order to make room for your creativity. Or keeping a notebook by your bed so that when your writer within presents the idea, you are able to retrieve it. Your mind is opening up to new possibilities. Consider how a woman expecting a baby would prepare to receive that child. She would probably create a nursery, look at baby clothes, take good care of herself because she's about to become a mom. Similarly, you must prepare to receive your creative ideas. Otherwise, they will escape, vanish into the ethers from whence they came. If you don't have a pen or notebook to retrieve them, you might not be able to get them again. So preparation is crucial. The second stage of any creative process is what we call incubation. After you begin your project, you have a general idea of what you would like to say, but often the key component feels elusive and you just can't put your finger on it. Well, the work is germinating, incubating, cooking, just like when you bake a cake and you put it in the oven. Or first of all, you put all the ingredients in the bowl, you stir it up, then you pour it into a pan and put it into the oven. Then you wait all that time so those ingredients can become a cake. Now, I don't bake much, I have to tell you that. But I know some friends of mine do, and that's what they have to do, is wait for their cake to bake. So it's a lovely scent when the cake is baking, but in this process of creativity, this lovely scent may not feel so good. Yes, you mostly believe that you can write this piece, and you've got the right ingredients. Knowledge, intuition, perseverance, desire, intention, writing ability, and great ideas. But will they actually cook and transform into your book or your story? This can be a frustrating wait. Unfortunately, this is just part of the process. Remember that baby? Well, as you know, it takes 9 months to gestate that child. And while it may not take that long to gestate your project, it might take longer than you want it to. So sometimes gestating a baby will go 9 months and 2 weeks. And you think, oh my gosh, can I ever get through this? Will this child ever be born? And similarly, when you're writing a book or some story or something you're working on, a screenplay, a book of essays, whatever it may be, it doesn't come out just exactly when you want it to. So this incubation period really requires a lot of patience, and it is frustrating. So the deal is you need to trust that you will get through it. This is when your writer within is doing the transformational work. You are not working alone here. You are in partnership, and your intention and commitment will give this project beautiful form if you allow yourself to partner with your writer within. This is a huge part of the creative process. There's a wonderful writer called Dina Metzger, and one of her quotes is this: "It is not our task to determine the meaning or substance of a story in advance. Thinking about it is likely to take us away from its essence as towards it. It is better and best if we can get out of our way and find a rhythm that elicits the story in us." So this is when you need to trust and have patience and know that you have all the skills that you need to create the story or novel or whatever it is your project is. You will get through this. It's part of the process. And why I focus on the incubation stage is because sometimes we writers, and I've taught writing for many, many years, sometimes we writers just think, well, I can't do this because it's not coming. And what's wrong with me? And I guess I don't have it in me. But the bottom line is, yes, you do. It's gestating in there. Just remember, it's gestating like a cake in the oven. And it takes a long time, often, for the cake to bake and for your ideas to cook. They will come. They will come out as a book or stories or whatever it is that you want. Just trust that you and your writer within are working together. So stage three is illumination or aha. Oprah says, the aha moment. Eureka, you've got your answer, the one you've been waiting for and hoping for, the moment where you know it will work. You know what to do. Your writer within has spoken and you are well on your way now. Yes, this is a very exciting moment, and this is very often when you'll be inclined to sit at your computer for much longer than you ever have before, because you just know what to do and where your project is going. It all falls into place. You say, thank you, writer within. Still, there may be anxiety that arises at this breakthrough moment. Often our aha experience can also scare us. Dr. Rollo May addresses this in his wonderful book called The Courage to Create. And he says, the world both inwardly and outwardly takes on an intensity that may be momentarily overwhelming. End of quote. Now that you have received this awareness and this awesome idea for a story or book you've been struggling with, you feel this sense of responsibility to put it into action. However, this may be another point where self-doubts niggle their way into your mind, or the critic comes a-calling and you wonder if you're up to the task at hand. Can I really do this? Can I carry this book through to the finish? Am I strong enough? Am I a good enough writer to be able to say what I want to do and express it in this book and really carry it forth so that it becomes a great project, a great book that others will love to read? So this is a scary time. Nevertheless, that huge realization of aha can lift you up into such a higher realm that you feel carried by some other force or energy. Most likely, this is your writer within. And if you tune in and trust her, you can write together passages you would never have believed would come through your pen. So keep on with that. The fourth stage in the creative process is one called verification. This is where you need feedback from others. You really want to hear that you're on the right track or not. Oh, you don't want to hear this, but it is part of the creative process. Give the piece time, like your newly baked cake, to sit on the counter and cool. Don't even look at it for a day or two, or maybe longer. Then return to it and just read it over again, lovingly, as if you're seeing this with brand new eyes. Pencil in any changes or edits you want to make, and then make those changes. Next, give it to one person you totally trust. This is a gentle human being who is not going to slay you with criticism, but will give you honest and kind feedback. Loving objectivity is very important, not only for the person giving the feedback, but for you as you receive it. For this reason, you should consider that person you choose to be not one of your family. Family relationships carry the added weight of history and need and multiple roles. It's important to remember that our family ways of relating, however supportive they may be, cannot always be mutually objective. By way of illustration, I learned this when I'd written my first novel. I had a dinner party for 12 people, and my brother was sitting at the other end of the table, and I had let him read the book, and I wanted to celebrate. And so I asked him, well, what did you think of my novel? And he said, your dinner is superb. And I thought, maybe he didn't hear me. So I asked the question again, what did you think of my novel? He says, your dinner is superb. Well, that hurt. And I wished he had had the courage and the kindness at that moment to sit me down and say, hey, sis, this needs a lot of editing, and you haven't quite gotten there yet. But sometimes brothers don't give sisters what they want right then, do they? So find a person that you really trust in this verification process. Because if you're slayed by someone who doesn't get what you're even trying to say, you can just put that book on hold and you'll never finish it. Criticism by an outside source is almost worse than our own criticism of self. But we have to really select one person that will give you kind feedback and let you know that what you're working on, it might not quite be there yet, but with a few changes, you can create and complete a finished book or novel or whatever it is you're working on, say a finished story. So just as a parent makes time for her child's teacher, or a couple make an appointment to discuss one partner's diagnosis with his doctor, so you love and respect your project by making the time for this verification step. This part of your creative process is crucial, because if you just hand it to someone in the publishing world and they reject it, you might never know why, and this can be dismaying. I know, I've had that experience. It's very harsh and very hard on you. So eventually, with step-by-step feedback, your project will be ready and it will go forth into the world. Then no matter what comes, rejections or not, you just keep on going. You got to persevere and keep sending it out and seeing it published. So just remember, you still can. You can still reawaken your passion to write by romancing your writer within.